I think I found pieces of evidence that kind of proves that Crash Team Rumble is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. And it's probably actually going to be a better experience than you might initially think, especially if you own more than one console. But there are some hurdles that we might have to deal with. What are they? Well, let's talk about it. What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and back with a brand new Crash Team Rumble video. When I started this video, I decided to look at the comment sections of my previous and most recent Crash Team Rumble videos, and there have been an outcry of comments asking and begging to get information about whether or not Crash Team Rumble will come to the Nintendo Switch. So I decided to go and just investigate myself. Is there any evidence to suggest that Crash Team Rumble could also be coming to the Nintendo Switch? So before I started the research, I started with a very obvious fact. And that is, if you look at the history of Crash Bandicoot, we can see thus far in this modern age, every Crash game has come to the Nintendo Switch console, from Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, CTR Nitro Fueled, and Crash Bandicoot 4, with the exception of CTR Nitro Fueled, which launched on Nintendo Switch Day 1. Each one of these games came out approximately a year after their initial launch. So my first thought obviously was, hey, most of these games come out a year after their initial launch, then it's most likely that Rumble will follow suit just like all the other games. But there is actually a large caveat that is staring us right in the face. More on that later, because the game operates exclusively online, which is much different from all the other previous titles that were released. So I decided to see if there was any other pieces of evidence to suggest that Rumble would come to the Nintendo Switch, and it turns out there is. I made my way to the website of the USPTO. This is where everybody in America trademarks their marks so that they can actually provide goods and services, and it's protected by copyright. And it turns out Activision made a trademark specifically for Crash Team Rumble, which actually is very, very helpful, because now we can actually explore the goods of that trademark and see what it will be selling and what is protected underneath these trademarks. When you scan through the mark to see what kinds of goods this game will be selling under this name, one of the goods mentions CDs and cartridges. With Nintendo Switch being the only console that is currently using cartridges, I just came to the conclusion that, yeah, we'll likely see Rumble come to the Nintendo Switch. But after this, I kept digging around just to see if there was anything else that I may have missed. So I visited Toys for Bob's recent Q&A page to see if there were any direct hints dropped towards a Switch port. And while there was no direct announcement or hint, there was a feature that was added to the game that I think is super cool that would make a Switch port even better. In order to play Crash Team Rumble, you have to sign up for an Activision account. The reason being is because the game is actually cross-play enabled. So that means anyone can play with anyone from any console. But the other reason is because the Activision account actually keeps track of all of your progress in Crash Team Rumble, which means it's cross-progression enabled. So that means if you're playing on a PS4 and buy a PS5, when you boot up Rumble, your progress will all still be the same. You won't lose anything. And if you decide to migrate consoles completely, like from PlayStation to Xbox, when you buy Crash Team Rumble for your new console, all your progression will be brought over to the new console that you had from your previous one. But picture this. If you own a PlayStation and a Nintendo Switch, you can play Crash Team Rumble on your PlayStation at home and then play on your Nintendo Switch on the go with the exact same account, meaning all your skins, levels, progression carry over to each other. You don't have to start over every time you switch consoles. Now, personally, I have an Xbox up in my master bedroom and a PlayStation 5 in my office. Then I have my Nintendo Switch, which I basically keep in portable mode almost exclusively. This means I could play Crash Team Rumble on the same account literally anywhere in my home and on the go, and still be working to the same account. But I mentioned earlier that there is a caveat that we might be slamming into. Actually, there's a couple. The first one is that Nintendo Switch Online isn't the most stable at times. One reason is that most Switches are only connected to the internet wirelessly, and of course, are portable, which means players could walk into internet dead zones within their own house or wherever they are. If you want your Switch to have a hardline connection, you either have to buy a Switch OLED, which comes with the dock with it built in, or buy literally an external attachment to give your regular Switch a hardline internet connection. But most people don't have that. And it only works when your Switch is docked, so in portable mode, it does nothing. Xbox and PlayStation have access to both wireless and hardline connections right out of the box, while also being in one stationary spot. This gives a lot more of a stable platform for PlayStation and Xbox when it comes to online experiences. It's possible that Nintendo Switch users may not have the best online experience when interacting with Xbox and or PlayStation players. Even if we let that slide though, let's just say that that's fine, that's not going to be an issue. Toys for Bob has a fix for that. Well, then there's another issue. Recently, Toys for Bob announced that at the moment, the only microtransaction in Crash Team Rumble is the Battle Pass. At the moment, there is no shop to unlock content with points and or currency. So why is that a problem for Nintendo Switch players? Well, the game is not launching day one on Nintendo Switch. And if it releases a year later from when the game initially launches, then there will be about 400 cosmetic items that Nintendo Switch users that are exclusively on Nintendo Switch will not have access to, as they would have not been able to participate in those Battle Pass events. Does that mean it's doom and gloom for Switch users? No. I still think that the game will make its way to the Nintendo Switch. I'm just saying that there are problems that Toys for Bob will have to find a fix for in the future, as there are many Crash Bandicoot fans over on Nintendo's platform. Are you waiting for Crash Team Rumble to come to Switch? If you own a Switch and another console, would you pick up the Switch version so you can play on the go and do the cross progression? Comment below and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe for all of your Crash Bandicoot needs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video and our live stream. Bye-bye!